Hi, Newbie Nurse Ruthie here. Yes, I know. I look like Felicia. I know. I'm literally in bed. I promised myself that I was going to record an episode every week. I was going to start this week, and then I tried to get out of it. I tried to procrastinate and do everything and anything. It's like 2 in the morning right now. I have to work tomorrow. Hopefully, it won't be late, and I'm going to bring it from the universe that I'm going to have a lot of energy. So, I've thought about what to talk about, why I left my last employer. I worked at the neighborhood hospital that everybody would say, don't go there. If you're going to go there, you're going to die, or so-and-so died there. Like every city has that hospital. So I worked there for 4 years thinking I was going to change things. So I was going through some bullying. That wasn't even the reason that I left. I left because I started noticing the physicians. There was one physician in particular. He would talk down on me. He would say, Ruthie, I know when you're here, I know that things will be taken care of and I don't have to worry about you. But yet he was treating me like shit. He would yell at me. And then one day I just pulled him into a room. I said, hey, why are you always yelling at me? Why are you always yelling at me? I do my job. I go above and beyond for you. He's like, oh, no, I don't mean to do anything about that, right? So then he treated me nicely for like 2 weeks, and then he started the shit again. I was like, you know what? I don't need this shit. So I put in my 2 weeks notice. I was like, this. And then the other reason that I left is because ambulances would call in and say, for an example, this is just an example, they would say 76-year-old en route, CPR in progress. And so this doctor would overhear this and say, you know what, once that patient gets here, we're going to intubate them. We'll give them one round of we're going to have the resident intubate them. We'll give them one round of epi, and then we're going to call it. I'm like, damn, you're not even going to give this person a chance. Even though they're 70-something years old, you're just going to, that's it. Okay. So I realized at that time that the values of this facility was wild. Okay. And then I had some more tea. A certain high level person who was married, somebody that's real big in the hospital, like real big. No, I'm not even going to talk about this. Basically, the value system in the hospital was not great. It was not great. People, I mean, when we used to precept people, we would say, hey, when you go into any closet, any bathroom, make sure you knock because you never know what you're going to see. I guess everybody was everybody. And I mean, it was crazy. And looking back now, I know why certain ambulances always came to our hospital. They could be far as hell, but they knew they were going to get some. I was like, my God, this is crazy. This is crazy. Right. And I came from the bar scene. Okay. Let's just say that I came from the bar scene and I saw I've seen some more ratchet shit in the hospital that I did in the bar scene. Like, oh my God. So anyways, I was like thinking, I was like, man, where am I going to go? And then, there's a major hospital that I work for right now. Before I applied there, people were like, oh, you don't make no money there. You're not going to make any money. They're the lowest paid facility around, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but you know what? Don't listen to other people, because when I got my offer letter, it was way more than I was making. And I was so happy. Once the orientation started, I was like, I'm going to retire here. I just feel it. I love the culture. I loved how welcoming everyone was at first, because I came from such a trauma, like terrible work environment. I was like, is everybody just like acting around here? Is everybody just faking being nice? And then I felt like I was faking. It was very weird. And then I realized it was all the trauma that I went through. The first thing I noticed about the facility I work at now is that when you approach the physicians, they are so kind. They listen. They don't bark at you. I mean, there was one or two that they have their issues, but they don't bark at you. They welcome you. They welcome your input. And I just want to tell you, if there's any physicians, any NPs, any PAs, anybody, also nurses, do not give attitude when someone comes and talks to you or asks you a question, because that could absolutely harm a patient in the future, because that tech or that nurse will not want to come and tell you whatever because they feel like you're going to freak out on them. Um, and it's unnecessary. Unnecessary. You're making it a very uncomfortable situation. So back to what, but I want to talk again about my last day there. So I didn't really tell too many people that I was leaving because really I didn't care. They were all like toxic people, pretty much. I had one friend that I work with now because when I went to the new place, I was like, hey, y'all got to come over here. The grass is greener. The grass is greener. I freaking cherry picked. I was like, look, this person, and this person, that's who you need to hire. And let me tell you, we built a freaking empire. There's still people there's people that I've worked with for, gosh, at least 10 years. And so I was calling everybody that was good. I was like, come on, I'm telling you, it's better. It's worth it. They actually care about their patients. They care about their patients. When I was in the ER and I saw that they had a freaking social worker and a case manager, and they had housekeeping that cleaned the rooms. Bro, we had to clean our own rooms. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I'm getting paid more. So I'm telling you this story because if you feel trapped where you are, if you're like, oh, I make good money and no other place is going to pay me more. Hey, just apply, interview, see where your options are, especially if you've been there a long time and you're not happy. Just check it out. As a nurse, you have so many options. You have so many different options. You don't even have to work in a hospital. You can work in a school. You can work, you can do your own thing, man. I'm looking into all these businesses that you can do as an RN. It's amazing. The opportunities that we have as an RN. So many times that even when if I'm stressed out at work, I have this one coworker. He's like, well, Ruthie, is it like the other place? He would say, he's like, it's not like the other place. I'm like, you know what? You're right, man. This ain't like, this is paradise compared to the last place I worked at. So if you're thinking about moving on, seeing if the grass is greener on the other side, whatever you're deciding, I highly recommend that you do it. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is you can find out they pay more, they pay less, it's worse, it's better. You could always go back. The main thing is that you have to be happy where you are. So if you are interested in everything Newbie Nurse, please follow, like, and subscribe. And if we haven't met, my name is Nurse Ruthie. I've been a nurse for 15 years, and I developed the Newbie Nurse Podcast for you, for the newbie nurse, for the nurse that does not feel confident, the nurse that is nervous, the nurse that just wants to hang out with other nurses. So I want to thank you for following and liking and subscribing and commenting. I'm really digging this. The momentum is like, it's getting kind of scary. But it's what I want. It's what I wanted, and it's coming true. Everything is coming true. So newbies, treat people how you want to be treated because what you put into this world is what you're going to get back. Have a great shift. Good night. So I almost forgot the last day story. The last day, we're getting pounded. Code comes in. There were like 4 codes in a row. It was crazy because only one nurse was assigned to the trauma bay. And lucky me, I was assigned to the trauma bay. We had like 4 trauma bays. And I was literally hopping from one trauma bay to another, to one code. They pronounced them. The next code, pronounce them. The next one. This guy survived. The next one. They didn't make it either, I'm pretty sure. So, and the ER is hopping. And this lady comes out of the room. I mean, we are balls to the wall. She's like, is anybody going to check my... And I'm like, I felt like I was in a movie. I was like, bro, this is a hot mess. I can't wait to get out of here. And my coworker just reminded me of that story the other day. She's like, Ruthie, I remember your last day. I was like, how could I forget?